I just upgraded my iPhone 12 Pro, and I got an iPhone 13 mini. Maybe it could be a giant mistake, but let's find out. Alright, let's get into this. 1. If you have an iPhone 12 right now and you're thinking about upgrading to a 13, you don't need to, alright? There's really no reason for you to upgrade. Why did I upgrade? Couple of reasons. 1, I'm a complete psychopath that continuously buys every new phone every new year because I want them, and I justify the purchase by saying I'm gonna make YouTube videos about them. And 2, while I did love the iPhone 12 Pro, ultimately, I really wanted a small phone. I honestly miss small phones. I miss the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 5. I miss being able to use a phone with just one hand, my thumb being able to reach all 4 corners without having to do some weird shimmy move the entire time. When the 12 was first announced and the 12 mini was there, I did think about getting it, but ultimately I felt like the 12 Pro was more worth my money. But this year's different because I don't really think that the 13 Pro is that much better than the 13 for me to want to spend the extra money. And also this means that I get my small phone now. So now that I've switched from my big phone back down to a small phone, is that been a giant mistake for myself? And honestly, no, it's not. I've been loving it. I love having a phone that I can use with one hand. I love being able to only use one hand to check an email or send a quick text. Yes, while at times when you're sitting on the couch and you're watching a YouTube video, you think, man, if only the screen was like a little bit bigger. You know, you have those moments. But for the most part, for me and how I use my phone, I really wanted the ability to just only need one hand. One of the biggest things that people brought up to me on why the Pro is worth it over the 13 and 13 mini was the telephoto lens on a 13 Pros. And while yes, it's a very good lens, I had the 12 Pro for over a year, and guess what? I barely use a telephoto lens. It's just not a lens that I normally use when I take pictures. Nothing against it, I know it's an amazing lens, but I end up using the regular and then the ultra wide way more often. And since I have a 13 mini, I haven't really missed it at all. I think one of the biggest fears a lot of people have in getting a small phone is the battery life, and honestly, it's been pretty good. And I'm using it very regularly. I'm using it as a work device. I'm checking email, I'm making phone calls, sending texts, I am watching YouTube videos, I'm watching movies, I'm playing games on it. And every day since I've gotten it, I have not even once gotten the 20% battery life warning or whatever. And it's not like I'm stopping to charge this phone every chance I can. I'm really only charging it once, at night when I'm asleep. That one charge has lasted me the entire day. Now, of course, some of you power users that watch a lot of stuff on their phones and play a lot of games, you're gonna destroy this battery, because I do see where it's short. But the thing is, Apple made some amazing battery improvements to this phone, and honestly, I'm not really afraid of not having enough battery life around. I think if you're out and about a lot, you might need an external battery pack, but for me right now, I'm not really looking at one. I'm feeling pretty confident. So, do I feel like I made a mistake? No. If anything, I spent $700 on a phone that I really like versus $1,000 on a phone that I knew would be fine, but would just end up being another phone where I would say, I wish it was a little bit smaller. Yes, I'm missing out on some camera stuff with the 13 Pro, but really, the 13's cameras are so good that I don't really feel like I'm missing out. Those are my thoughts on the iPhone 13 mini as someone who's just picked it up, who's been testing it as a normal human being. And I really, really enjoy it. I'll do like a full, more in-depth review later on probably the camera, something like that. But for now, these are my thoughts. If you have any questions or anything, pop them in the comments and I'll get back to you right away. Anything else, we'll see you whenever I see you next. Hopefully soon.